In the heart of the jungle, survival is a brutal game. Each creature fights to claim its place under the sun. It's a world where the weak are left behind, and predators patiently wait for their chance to strike. But what happens when the laws of nature are turned upside down? One quiet afternoon, as the sun dripped golden honey through the leaves, a tiny squirrel scurried along a branch. It wasn't just any ordinary squirrel, it was one of the littlest, most vulnerable creatures that the jungle had to offer. Usually, these squirrels were so insignificant that the larger animals hardly noticed their presence. They were like shadows darting between the giants, always in peril of being stepped on or snatched by a hungry hawk. Yet this particular squirrel would soon become the star of the jungle, not because of its size or strength, but because of something it carried in its mouth. High above them in the dense canopy, a young monkey hung limp on a vine. Moments ago, he had been swinging playfully with his troop when he lost his grip. The fall had knocked the wind out of him, and now he dangled there, too weak and scared to make a move. As the minutes ticked by, his cries for help gradually faded into whimpers. Below him, the forest floor seemed miles away, and the thought of climbing back up sent shivers down his spine. The monkey's mind raced. What if he couldn't make it back to the safety of the tree? What if he was left stranded here, alone and defenseless? Panic threatened to overwhelm him. Then he heard a sound that made him freeze. It was the rustle of leaves, but it wasn't the sound of a predator. No, this was something else. Something smaller, more nimble. As the noise drew closer, the monkey saw a flash of fur and two bright eyes peering at him from above. It was a squirrel. Not just any squirrel though, it was the same little squirrel that he had often teased and tormented. The sight of the tiny creature alone with him in the vastness of the jungle filled the monkey with a strange sense of unease. Could it be that his own kind, those he had considered beneath him, were now his only hope? Meanwhile, the squirrel was sizing up the situation. Its keen eyes assessed the monkey's condition, and it chattered nervously. Despite its tiny stature, it knew that this was a moment of truth. Helping the monkey meant risking its own safety. If the monkey panicked and fell, it could easily crush the squirrel. Yet something compelled it to act. Perhaps it was a hidden well of compassion, or maybe an unexplainable connection between two souls in peril. Whatever the reason, the squirrel leaped onto the vine and scurried closer to the monkey. It chattered again, trying to convey a message of reassurance. Then it did something astonishing. Instead of fleeing, it darted back and forth, each time returning with a small piece of fruit clutched in its mouth. With surprising gentleness, it dropped the fruit beside the monkey and retreated to a safe distance, observing cautiously. The monkey stared at the fruit, surprised by this unexpected offering. Hunger gnawed at his stomach, yet fear kept him frozen. He couldn't comprehend why the squirrel was bringing him food or what it wanted in return. The jungle around them buzzed with insects, but the sounds seemed distant as the monkey grappled with his predicament. Should he trust the squirrel? Was this a trick or a genuine act of kindness? As the sun began its slow descent, casting long shadows across the forest floor, the monkey finally succumbed to his instincts. Driven by hunger and desperation, he reached out and grabbed the fruit. It tasted sweet and tangy, and the monkey felt a surge of energy coursing through him. For the first time in hours, a glimmer of hope replaced the despair in his eyes. With renewed strength, the monkey managed to scramble higher on the vine, inching closer to the safety of the treetops. The squirrel watched intently, its heart pounding with a mixture of fear and anticipation. As the monkey slowly regained his composure, the squirrel knew it had to act quickly. It dashed back into the foliage, gathering more food and returning before the monkey could descend further. Once again, it dropped its offering at the foot of the vine and retreated, keeping a vigilant eye on the monkey. The monkey, touched by this unexpected generosity, didn't hesitate this time. He quickly ate the fruit and felt his strength returning. He managed to climb a little higher, drawing closer to the comforting embrace of the tree. And so it went on. With each passing hour, the squirrel became a beacon of hope, tirelessly bringing food and water to the helpless monkey. The forest, usually alive with the cacophony of birds and insects, seemed to hold its breath, captivated by this unusual display of kindness. Days turned into nights, and nights yielded to new days. The relentless rhythm of the jungle continued, but for the monkey and the squirrel, their world had shrunk to the space between a tall tree and the sky. As the days passed, the monkey gradually regained his mobility, his muscles growing stronger with each sunrise. The squirrel, with its unwavering dedication, had given him the sustenance he needed to heal. Now, as the monkey prepared to leave, the bond between them had deepened into a silent understanding. The monkey, reflecting on his experience, realized that the mighty and the small, the fierce and the timid, were all connected by invisible threads of empathy and compassion. His survival was a testament to the squirrel's kindness, and he knew he couldn't leave without acknowledging their connection. Before he disappeared into the lush canopy, he turned back for one last look. Down below, he saw the squirrel perched on a leafless twig, its gaze steady and unwavering. In that moment, their eyes met, and the monkey felt a surge of gratitude. Without words, they had shared a profound experience that transcended their differences. The monkey slipped back into the embrace of the jungle, leaving the little squirrel high up in the canopy. As he rejoined his troop, the echoes of the squirrel's bravery resonated within him. The jungle, with its harsh realities, had taught him a valuable lesson. Strength wasn't just about physical prowess, and vulnerability could be a catalyst for remarkable acts of kindness. Meanwhile, the squirrel nestled in the crook of a branch, its heart still pounding from the encounter. The monkey was gone, and the jungle noises seemed louder now, as if the forest itself was sighing in relief. The squirrel had faced danger head-on, and emerged not just unscathed, but stronger. Its act of kindness had rewritten the narrative of its existence, transforming it from an insignificant speck into a beacon of courage. In the grand theater of the jungle, where every act has a consequence, the squirrel had defied the odds. Now, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the squirrel looked up at the stars. The vastness of the night sky mirrored the boundless capacity for kindness that resided in the smallest of creatures. News of the squirrel's bravery spread through the jungle grapevine. Carried by the rustling leaves and babbling brooks, the animals, in their daily routines, whispered tales of the tiniest hero they had ever known. From the tallest elephant to the slithering snake, all were touched by the story. And so the legend of the squirrel that saved the monkey echoed through the ages, reminding every creature in the jungle and every listener in the human world that true heroism comes in all shapes and sizes. Sometimes the smallest among us can achieve the greatest feats of kindness and courage, leaving an indelible mark on the world. Why did the squirrel do it? Was it instinct, a momentary lapse in the struggle for survival, or something more profound, a spark of compassion in the heart of a tiny creature? Perhaps the answer lies in the very essence of existence, a universal drive to help, to heal, and to love, a sentiment that transcends species and touches the depths of our souls. This tale isn't just about survival in the wild, it's a reflection of the boundless capacity for good that resides in us all. It's a reminder that kindness knows no bounds, and that even the smallest act of generosity can change a life. So next time you encounter a stranger, a different perspective, or a helping hand, remember the story of the squirrel that saved the monkey. Embrace the power of compassion and let it guide you in the grand journey of life.